And to a close. Okay. So again, what we wanted to do was just kind of set you up for the opportunity to kind of get warmed up on the whole signpost idea. Now, what we want to encourage is as you're working through the signposts, we want you to now get to know more about the signposts themselves. And what we're going to encourage you to do as you're doing this research and then the conversation around it is we're going to encourage you to kind of find a signpost that you think is going to work for you and put that into application between now and we meet again in December. So our lead time in December will involve you having conversation around how did the signpost work for you as you put it into application. What was exactly how you read about it and what was not so exactly how you read about it. All right? Because we've all been there. So this next 10-minute block is just really going to be to dig into the signposts and get to know more about them. So you just did the overview. You might have one through conversation or what you just researched that kind of sparks your interest. Start with that. If that doesn't work for you, try another one. We're going to give you 10 minutes to kind of digest. This is section 3 in the book. I don't have the exact page, but it's just section 3. What was it? 112. Thank you. So starting at 112, we want you to just kind of look into what do you see working for you. Yeah, 112. What do you see working for you as a signpost that you might try? I do believe this book is kind of written for your 6 through 12 or 4 through 12, if you will. So if you are K2, you might have to be creative in thinking about what does this look like on a simpler level.
Actually, they give, on page 87, they give examples of picture storybooks
Oh,
that
great.
exemplify each of the signposts.
Say that page again, Ellen.
87. As well as, on the opposite side, they talk about what might be the order to consider in terms of teaching them. So you might want to, before you choose, just read that to kind of think about.
And then since we're throwing a bunch of random page numbers at you, the other one was, there's a nice section, I think it was 88, right, Nellie?
Yep.
That's about gradual release in the signposts, right? So a lot of us are using that as an instructional model. So page 88 is that gradual release model and the signposts. Right before I send you off, what I will say, and we're not doing this time, this is what we've adjusted as instructors, is before what we did was we investigated a signpost and then we modeled. So I actually modeled from one of the MESA units the again and again piece. So I used that again and again component through the context of what probably could have been used in a K1 or 2 lesson, and I picked the sun is my favorite star, right, Frank Ash. And so I just used that book as part of a mini lesson out of the MESA units. I couldn't tell you which one off the top of my head, but just to keep that in mind. They do not. But what I did was, from my investigation of the signpost, that particular teaching point allowed using that again and again structure to re-emphasize the teaching point. So, yep.
And I ended up doing the 612 one, and I used tough questions, and they have an excerpt from here. And just the takeaways from the teachers when they experienced it was amazing.
Right.
And then they compared their learning to MESA, and they felt like their thinking was so much deeper than just using MESA, the MESA units. So, I think these truly have immense value, especially when we talk about close reading. These buzzwords that we throw around. So how do we give students some of that thinking to help them do metacognition with their reading?
All right, so we're going to give you 10 minutes, so we'll get back together about 1:45.
Should we tell them what's awaiting them at about 6?
Well, I think now we have to.
You can't not tell us.
So what we will do, though, is at 1:45, we are going to get you into grade level groups to talk about the signposts, right? The one that you might put into action so you can talk as a grade level team, which would then take you to about 6 o'clock, which is when we'll have our break. And because Teaching and Learning Academy is such a great thing to consider, since we did the shameless promotion. They are having dinner served for them out there, and so they have extra. So if you wanted to kind of survey the line, don't tell anybody that's not here tonight though, because we can't. We need to stop the tape. But yeah, so they welcomed us to join in on their line. So at the end of that, I'll keep my eye out. If for some reason they start early, we'll let you know. So.